everyone, welcome back to Biophilia, your all-time study mate. Today we are continuing with the chapter Human Reproduction with the third part of it. If you like our videos and want us to reach out many more students, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our amazing channel. Starting with today's topic, that is about spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis यानी क्या होता है? We have to understand that first. So spermatogenesis एक ऐसा word है that is going to be giving you meaning if you break it into two words. So first word होता है that is spermato, जिसका meaning होता है the male gamete, that is sperm. और genesis जो second part of the word है that is formation. So whenever genesis word आता है, it is related to formation. So whenever the male gamete, that is the sperm, is formed, that is called as spermatogenesis. तो spermatogenesis एक लंबी process होती है और ये process को you can divide it into three sub processes. So first process जो होती है that is called as spermatidogenesis. So difference याद रखना ज़रूरी है. मेन प्रोसेस क्या है? स्पर्मेटोजेनेसिस. एंड द लोअर प्रोसेस, द कैटेगरीज ऑफ दैट इज कॉल्ड स्पर्मेटाइडोजेनेसिस. सो जेनेसिस वर्ड यहाँ पे भी आया है, दैट मीन्स देर इज फॉर्मेशन ऑफ समथिंग. तो यहाँ पे क्या फॉर्म होगा? यहाँ पे फॉर्म होगा स्पर्मेटिड. बट स्पर्मेटिड किससे फॉर्म होगा? इट विल बी फॉर्म्ड फ्रॉम द प्राइमोर्डियल जर्म सेल. सो प्राइमोर्डियल जर्म सेल एक्ट्स लाइक द स्टेम सेल विच इज गोइंग टू डिफरेंशिएट एंड फॉर्म द स्पर्मेटिड. फिर सेकेंड कैटेगरी आती है दैट इज परमियोजेनेसिस. अगेन जेनेसिस, दैट इज फॉर्मेशन ऑफ समथिंग. सो व्हाट इज फॉर्म्ड हियर? यहाँ पे सेकेंड स्टेज फॉर्म होंगी, दैट इज स्पर्मेटोजोआ. And the spermatozoa or the sperm, that is the male gamete, will be formed from the previous formation, that was spermatid. So previously जो spermatid बना था with the process of spermatidogenesis, अब ये वापस कुछ नया फॉर्म करेगा, that is spermatozoa. Now spermatozoa, during when it is formed, फॉर्मेशन के टाइम पे इट इज़ नॉट गोइंग टू बी फ्री, इट इज़ गोइंग टू बी फिक्स्ड विद द सार्टोलिक सेल्स. हमने पढ़ा था. सो सार्टोलिक सेल से जब ये रिलीज होगा, दैट इज द थर्ड process, that is called as release of sperms from the Sartori cell. So whenever there is release of the sperms from the cells, that will be called as permeation. So ये three processes है of the major process, that is spermatogenesis, that is formation of the male gamete sperms. So ये basic introduction था. Now we will study in detail about this. So first of all about the first process, जो first सब type पढ़ा था, that is spermatidogenesis. Spermatidogenesis में you have to understand the following things. So first of all, spermatidogenesis में there will be multiplication or the proliferation phase. So during this phase what will happen when the PGC क्या होता है? PGC is the primordial germ cell. So यहाँ पे short में लिखा है, if you do not remember the short forms you can write it in the long forms. So PGC is nothing but primordial germ cells. Whenever these primordial germ cells or the stem cells are going to attain maturity, जब sexual maturity आएगी, then these primordial germ cells are going to repeatedly divide with the help of mitotic divisions. And once the mitotic division occurs, they are going to form spermatogonial cells. Now these spermatogonial cells are going to be of two types. जो माइटोसिस होता है, माइटोसिस से आपने क्या पढ़ा है? ऑलवेज यू हैव स्टडीड दैट वन मदर सेल व्हेन अंडरगोज माइटोसिस इज गोइंग टू प्रोड्यूस टू सेल्स. सो एक सेल जो होगा दैट विल बी कॉल्ड एज टाइप ए सेल. सो ए सेल होगा और सेकेंड जो होगा दैट इज कॉल्ड एज टाइप बी सेल. सो टाइप ए सेल क्या होता है? दीज आर द स्टेम सेल्स, यानी दीज आर अगेन गोइंग टू डिवाइड टू फॉर्म मोर स्पर्मेटोगोनियल सेल्स. जबकि जो टाइप बी होता है वो अपनी जिंदगी आगे बढ़ाएगा, विच इज गोइंग टू एक्ट लाइक अ प्रीकर्सर फॉर द स्पर्म सेल्स. सो एक वापस अपनी previous जिंदगी में जाएगा, that was the stem cell life, whereas the other cell that was formed with the mitosis, that will become the precursor for the sperm cell. सेकेंड होता है दैट इज कॉल्ड एज ग्रोथ स्टेज. ना ग्रोथ स्टेज यानी जो टाइप ए था वो तो चला गया टू बिकम द स्टेम सेल्स. Now the type B, which will form the sperm cells, it is going to undergo the second stage, that is growth stage. अब growth stage में क्या होगा? The type B is going to accumulate, it is going to grow. So grow किस चीज़ में करेगा? It will grow in more cytoplasm, more genetic material, और वो सारा जो nourishment चाहिए to grow is going to get from the Sertoli cells or the tentacular or the nursing cells. So ये तीन नाम हमने पढ़े थे for the Sertoli cells. So ये cells से जब ये these are in close proximity with the nursing cells, ये अपने आप को grow करेंगे. And now once these type B cells have been grown enough, उनका नाम change हो जाएगा and the name now is going to be primary spermatocyte. नाम क्या हो जाएगा? Primary spermatocyte. And now this cell is going to undergo meiosis, right? खा पी के फूल गया है, now it will undergo meiosis. Now the third stage, that is called as maturation stage. Maturation stage में जो growth phase के टाइम पे जो primary spermatocyte बना था, now it will go into two successive divisions, क्योंकि meiosis जो होता है that will occur in two stages. So first of all there will be first meiotic divisions, जो another names से आप उन्हें पुकार सकते हो, that is heterotypic division. It can be reductional division or it can be the first maturation division. In this type of division, जो primary spermatocyte होता है, that is going to give rise to two secondary spermatocytes. So एक primary spermatocyte divide करेगा and it will give rise to what? Two secondary spermatocytes. So primary spermatocyte अब क्या बन जाएगा? Secondary spermatocyte. Now second जो meiotic division होगा, so this was about meiosis 1. Meiosis 2 या second mitotic division जो होगा, it is going to be homotypic division or you can also call it equatorial division. Now ये division में क्या होगा? जो first meiotic division में दो secondary spermatocyte बने थे, now these secondary spermatocyte are going to give rise to two spermatid. So two spermatid, so पहले क्या हुआ था? एक प्राइमरी स्पर्मेटोसाइट से दो सेकेंडरी स्पर्मेटोसाइट बने, और अभी जो स्पर्मेटोसाइट था सेकेंडरी, दैट इज गोइंग टू गिव राइज टू हाउ मेनी? टू मोर स्पर्मेटिड. अब ये कौन है? ये स्पर्मेटिड है, राइट? अब हमें पता है फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस प्रोसेस कि टू सेकेंडरी बने थे. अगेन दीज विल ऑल्सो अंडरगो द सेकेंड meiotic division. Again two more will be formed. So what can you say? At the end, from one primary spermatocyte there are going to be four spermatid formation at the end of maturation stage. So एक primary spermatocyte से कितने बनेंगे? Four spermatid. So that is the one thing that you need to remember. Now यहाँ पे जो process पूरी हो रही है in different stages that I have tried to accumulate and show it to you in one single flow chart. So what is going to happen? सबसे पहले with this the multiplication phase, multiplication stage में जो primordial germ cell होता है, the primordial germ cell is going to undergo mitosis. Primordial germ cell है, primordial germ cell that is diploid in stage will undergo mitosis and form spermatogonial cells. Spermatogonial cells दो टाइप के होते हैं, first that is type A and the other type B. टाइप ए जो होते हैं these are going to represent the stem cell types. stem cell types है यानी वो फिर से spermatogonial cells form करेंगे, whereas the type B cell is undergoing growth stage. और growth stage से क्या होगा? there will be formation of primary spermatocyte. primary spermatocyte भी 2n या diploid condition में होगा. now primary spermatocyte में there is going to be division, that is first mitotic division, और mitotic division की वजह से there will be formation of two secondary spermatocyte which are 2n in condition. 2n ही होगा, it will be heterotype of division or reductional division. And finally when there is meiosis 2 occurring, meiosis 2 के टाइम पे there will be at the end formation of spore formatids. 4 spermatids फॉर्म होंगे because previously there were two secondary spermatocytes. They will break into two and form finally 4 spermatids which will be haploid in condition. So start हुआ था कहाँ से? Primordial germ cell से, end हुआ with the 4 spermatids. So that was the entire process of spermatidogenesis. Now about the second sub thing that is called as spermiogenesis. Spermiogenesis is nothing but about the metamorphosis, और metamorphosis या changes किसमें हो रहे हैं? Changes are going to occur between spermatid to form the sperm. अब changes जो होते हैं, these changes are nothing but to acquire more motility, and second change that is to be active. So these two changes जो है, that is spermatid lacking but the sperm has. So these changes are going to be categorized over here कि different organelles में कैसे changes होते हैं. So let's see them in the tabular form. So first of all what you need to see, changes कहाँ पे होंगे और वो transformation क्या होगा. So first of all when you look about nucleus जो होगा, it is going to lose water, it will lose RNA. So lose करेगा, size छोटा हो जाएगा and it can become compact and shrink, and finally there will be formation of spindle shaped of nucleus in the head region. फिर Golgi complex जो होगा, Golgi complex जो vacuoles थे, those vacuoles will be lost, fluid content कम कर दिया जाएगा, and it will spread itself to form the acrosome. So acrosome जो होगा, that is nothing but the Golgi complex. So you should not forget about it. Third जो होगा, that is centrosome. Centrosomes, these are going to arrange one after the other, यानी एक के पीछे एक, they will arrange themselves like these, and जो ऊपर वाला होगा that will be called as anterior, और जो नीचे होगा that is posterior. So anterior या proximal जो centriole होता है, it is going to be used for the first cleavage. So first cleavage जो होगा in the zygote, the anterior or the proximal centriole will be used, whereas if you see for the distal centriole, तो डिस्टल सेंट्रियोल अपने आप को बेसल बॉडी में चेंज कर लेगा, एंड दिस बेसल बॉडी इज गोइंग टू गिव राइज टू फ्लैजेला लाइक स्ट्रक्चर. सो क्या है पहली बात, फर्स्ट थिंग दैट इज एंटीरियर और द प्रॉक्सिमल सेंट्रियोल, और सेकेंड जो होता है दैट इज डिस्टल सेंट्रियोल. दैट वाज अबाउट द चेंजेस दैट ऑकर्स इन द सेंट्रोसोम्स. माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया में क्या चेंज नजर आएगा? माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया इज गोइंग टू माइग्रेट एंड गेट अक्यूमुलेटेड अराउंड द एक्सियल फिलामेंट, और वो अपने आप को एक स्पाइरल अरेंजमेंट में कन्फाइन कर लेते हैं, एंड दैट स्पाइरल अरेंजमेंट इज गोइंग टू हैव अ स्पेशल नेम. एंड व्हाट इज दैट स्पेशल नेम? इट इज कॉल्ड द शीथ ऑफ नेबरकन. So sheath of Neberkun is very important. It is asked कि sheath of Neberkun क्या कौन सा ऑर्गेनल होता है एंड वेयर इज इट फाउंड. सो इट इज गोइंग टू बी द ऑर्गेनल दैट इज माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया कलेक्शन, एंड इट विल बी फाउंड इन द मिडल पीस ऑफ द स्पर्म. दैट वाज अबाउट माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया. अब साइटोप्लाज्म में क्या चेंजेस होंगे? साइटोप्लाज्म इज गोइंग टू रिमेन इन थिन लेयर. वो बहुत ज़्यादा क्वांटिटी में नहीं होगा, इट विल जस्ट फॉर्म अ थिन लेयर ऑफ साइटोप्लाज्म अराउंड द डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द sperm. And finally the plasma membrane is just going to remain as an envelope, and it will try to act like just a covering, कि ये सारे जो अंदर चीज़ें हैं उसको एक जिप के अंदर बंद करके रख दें. So starting from the head region up till the tail region, entire will be covered with cytoplasm and the plasma membrane. So all these changes you need to understand कि ये कहाँ पे हो रहे हैं. These are going to occur in the spermatid. So when these particular changes occur, they can have more motility and activeness seen in the sperm. Now about the parts of mature sperm. अब spermiogenesis के बाद mature sperm तो form हो चुका है, but now how does it actually look after all those transformations? So this is the reveal of the mature sperm. So mature sperm के पास दो major regions होंगे. The first that is head and second that is tail. So head region जो होगा, it is going to be pointed. You can see up in the diagram as well. I have tried to mark the head region. So head region जो होगा, it is going to be be pointed, it will be flattened, and about 4 to 5 micrometer. So 4 to 5 micrometers, you can imagine how small that head is going to be. Majorly it is going to constitute of 23 highly condensed chromosome. Why 23? Because it is going to be a haploid state, क्योंकि वो गैमीट है, राइट. सो ओनली 23 कंडेंस्ड क्रोमोसोम्स आर गोइंग टू बी प्रेजेंट इन द न्यूक्लियस, और न्यूक्लियस भी हेड रीजन में होगा. सो एंटीरियर 2/3 ऑफ द न्यूक्लियस इज गोइंग टू बी कवर्ड बाय द एक्रोजोम. सो हमने एक्रोजोम अभी पढ़ा था. एक्रोजोम क्या होता है? इट इज गोइंग टू बी द गोल्जी bodies. So Golgi bodies is nothing but the acrosome, and it will be filled with different types of enzymes. और ये enzymes जो होंगे, these are going to help when the sperm is going to go near the egg or the oocyte. So जो sperm को penetrate करना होता है into the oocyte, so for that penetration during the fertilization, the acrosome is going to release secrete enzymes, और ये enzymes की वजह से वो जो oocyte की layers होंगी उसको dissolve करके ये अपना nuclear matter, or you can say the highly condensed chromosomes are going to be sent into the oocyte so that fertilization can occur. So that was about the head region. अभी जो उसके नीचे जो छोटी सी एक constricted region होता है, that is called as the neck region. So the constricted region wherein the centrioles are found. So here you can see in the diagram with the yellow color part. So the yellow colored are nothing but the two little centrioles. जो ऊपर वाला होगा, that is proximal centriole, and the lower one will be the distal centriole, which will be forming the flagella like structure. After the neck region नीचे आता है the middle piece. Now the middle piece is going to contain the mitochondria which get arranged so that they can form the sheath of Neberkan. सो स्पायरल कंडीशन में अपने आप को अरेंज कर लेते हैं, एंड दैट माइटोकॉन्ड्रियाज आर गोइंग टू बी यूज्ड फॉर द एटीपी फॉर्मेशन और द एनर्जी. क्योंकि जब माइटोकॉन्ड्रियाज होंगे, वॉट एवर द सीमेन इज प्रेजेंट, जिसके साथ ये स्पर्म्स बाहर जाएंगे, the fructose that is present, the fructose is going to be taken up by the mitochondria. There will be oxidation of the fructose or energy produced only, and this energy is going to be used by the sperm for the locomotion inside the female body. So that energy transferring part is going to be done by the mitochondria in the spiral condition called as sheath of Neberkan. Finally जो longest portion of the tail होगा, that is called as the principal piece. So principal piece is the longest part of the tail, और जो last part होगा, that is called as end piece, which is going to be terminal and tapering end. So you can see how that little piece on the end piece is going to be, it is going to be a tapering and the terminal part of the tail. So that was all about the parts of mature sperm. यहाँ पे majorly क्या याद रखना है? You have to remember major parts, that is about acrosome, that is about Golgi bodies. फिर हमें दो centrioles के बारे में याद रखना है. You have to remember about sheath of Neberkan, कि उसमें कौन सा organelle होता है, that is the mitochondria, and this is going to be the source of energy as well as present in the middle piece. यहाँ पे 23 highly condensed chromosomes होंगे in the nucleus. That is also important point to remember. Now about the hormonal control. अभी ये जो भी चीज़ें हमने पढ़ी कि ये transformation होगा, the sperms will be formed, all those things, but how are they going to be controlled? So sperms, so जो formation होता है, वो formation के लिए भी there needs to be a control from the body. So that hormonal control now we are going to study. So hormonal control में the hormones जो majorly सबसे पहले release होंगे, they will be from the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus जो brain में present होगा, from that region there are going to be secretions, that is of GnRH. So GnRH is going to be stimulated with the secretion of hypothalamus. So neurosecretory cell है, and during the puberty times only the GnRH is going to be released. अब GnRH जो होगा it will stimulate the anterior pituitary, और anterior pituitary जब stimulate हो जाएगी there will be release of two hormones from the anterior pituitary. The first one that is FSH, और second जो release होगा that is LH. But in the male case majorly कौन सा use होता है नाम, that is ICSH. So here you will see that FSH and ICSH are going to be released from the anterior pituitary. अब FSH और LH या ICSH का जो major function होता है that is for growth and maintenance of the sexual parts of the body as well as for the sperms. So gametes और जो gametes production के related जो organs है, their growth and maintenance is the function for the two hormones released by the anterior pituitary. अब FSH जो होता है these are going to stimulate the Sertoli cells. अब Sertoli cells कहाँ होते हैं? These are going to be present in the seminiferous tubules. So Sertoli cells के पास जब ये FSH आएगा, the FSH is going to stimulate the Sertoli cells, and LH or the ICSH is going to stimulate the Leydig cells which are present, or they will be called as the interstitial cells. So Sertoli cells जो seminiferous tubule के अंदर है उस पे कौन वर्क करेगा? FSH और follicle stimulating hormone, and Leydig cells पे ICSH is going to work. Now FSH जो Sertoli cells पे वर्क करेगा, what is the function? वो जब stimulate करेगा तब Sertoli cells क्या करेंगे? There will be two functions. First there will be inhibin, and second that is facilitate spermatogenesis, right? Now Leydig cells के पास जब ICSH आएगा for stimulation, the Leydig cells are going to release testosterone, or it is called as your male hormone. So androgen, which is more commonly the testosterone, it is going to be released, and testosterone जब भी ज़्यादा release होता है it is going to be used as a paracrine action. So जब testosterone is going to be released and it stimulates or facilitates spermatogenesis in a positive manner, that is called as paracrine action. So you can remember about this thing that testosterone is going to have a paracrine action for the spermatogenesis. Now here to keep a check on everything, so say to keep a look at everything that every function goes smoothly, कोई कम ज़्यादा नहीं हो रहा है. So for that reason the inhibin is going to be used. So inhibin is going to be the hormone which is going to be released by the Sertoli cells so that they can have a negative feedback mechanism. So जब भी inhibin release होगा, the inhibin is going to act on the FSH. So FSH को जाके it will say that now stop the release of FSH, and FSH is going to be stopped so that Sertoli cells do not facilitate the spermatogenesis. So in a way क्या हो रहा है? When the inhibin is released and it gives the negative feedback mechanism, what will happen? FSH release नहीं होगा, FSH release नहीं होगा, then spermatogenesis or sperm formation is not going to occur. Second mechanism that occurs, that is because of testosterone. So testosterone जो androgen है or the male hormone, when it is released it is also going to be helpful for the negative feedback mechanism. So एक तो testosterone first it will go and try to solve its problem at the local level. So local level पे वो जाके LH को बताएगा या ICSH के ऊपर जाके नेगेटिव फीडबैक देगा that now you don't need testosterone, we have to stop the secretion. So टेस्टोस्टेरॉन किसकी वजह से रिलीज हो रहा है? इट इज रिलीज बिकॉज ऑफ द लीडिंग सेल्स. सो लीडिंग सेल्स नीड्स टू बी स्टॉप्ड सो दैट व्हेन दे डू नॉट गेट स्टिमुलेटेड टेस्टोस्टेरॉन इज नॉट फॉर्म्ड. सो टेस्टोस्टेरॉन का रिलीज स्टॉप करने के लिए यू हैव टू स्टॉप द रिलीज ऑफ ICSH. So ICSH जब स्टॉप हो जाएगा it will not stimulate the leading cells and testosterone is not formed. So that is the idea that needs to remember for this hormonal control. So testosterone negative feedback mechanism देगा first of all to ICSH. अगर वहाँ से काम नहीं हो पाया then it will go to the big boss, that is nothing but the GnRH. So GnRH is the big boss, and जब testosterone GnRH के पास जाएगा for negative feedback mechanism, the GnRH is not going to stimulate the anterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary जब stimulate नहीं होगी, ICHS release नहीं होगा, and finally the testosterone is not going to be stimulated or released. So in a way, two stages पे testosterone release or secretion can be stopped. First at the local level or at smaller level, that is stopping at the ICSH level, or you can go at the big boss level, that is the GnRH level. So that was about the entire hormonal control, कैसे hypothalamus से signals stimulate होते हैं so that there can be the functions, that is release of sperms, or you can say the spermatogenesis occurs, and the release of male hormone, that is testosterone. So I hope you understood about all these release and even the negative feedback mechanism. Now here we study about the next second subtopic about our today's video, that is accessory sex glands in males. So accessory sex glands may, here we have to study about the three major glands, that is first seminal vesicle, which will be present over here. These are going to be your seminal vesicles. यहाँ पे होगा हमारा prostate gland, our second gland to study, and the third little small gland over here, which will be called as bulbourethral gland, or also called as Cowper's gland. So ये three glands जो है, we have to study about them in detail so that we cover the accessory sex glands of the male reproductive system. So since this photograph is so amazing, so that you can see the entire structures, so let us see कि हमें यहाँ पे क्या क्या label करते आ रहा है. So first of all, you can label, that is this part that is called as testis. You very well know this is going to be testis. यहाँ पे हमारा epididymis होगा, this part that is epididymis. Then epididymis से जब you go forward, you will find the vas deferens. Vas deferens is going to loop over the urinary bladder. So vas deferens will go forward, and यहाँ पे होगी हमारी urinary bladder, and urinary bladder के यूरेथर्स के ऊपर जब वो लूप करेगी, इट विल गो टू द posterior end, और posterior end से it will come back near the seminal vesicles and enter towards the prostate gland. So if you can see over here, this particular part, this is nothing but your vas deferens, which is going to come down and it will get merged with the this thing, urinary bladder से जो duct आ रही है, that is carrying urine along with it. So urinary bladder से urine, or from this side your semen, these both are going to get combined, और यहाँ से there will be formation of the common urethral. So urethra यहाँ से आएगी. The three parts of urethra we have already seen, that is prostate urethra, then the membranous urethra, bulbous urethra, and the longest, that is the penile urethra. So even here you can understand about the penis, how it is going to be the copulatory organ, and finally here at the end there will be the urethral meatus, that is the external opening जहाँ से semen and urine are going to be released, or introduced to the external environment, or it is going to be inseminated in the female genital body. So with this particular thing, आपको शायद previous जो हमने videos किए थे उसका एक छोटा सा revision भी हो गया with the help of this diagram, and you also understood about the next topic, that was about the accessory glands, जो तीन होते हैं, seminal vesicles, prostate gland, and the third, that is bulbourethral or the Cowper's gland. So now let's see these three glands in detail. Now here accessory glands जो हमने 3 अभी देखे थे, that is seminal vesicles, prostate gland and the bulbourethral gland. All these are going to be shown over here in the tabular form, क्योंकि इनका जो points है, it will become too bulky if you write it in points. But ये table से you can just write it down, note it down, you can print it out, और अगर आपने इसको wall पे चिपका दिया, then it is going to be helpful for you to remember all the things at one go. So first of all, let's focus on the first gland, that will be seminal vesicles. So seminal vesicles जो है, these are going to be paired structures and they are going to secrete their secretions which will contribute to 60% of the seminal fluid. So seminal fluid is nothing but which is going to form the semen. Forward, जब वो seminal fluid add हो जाएगा into the sperms, so 60% of the secretions will be from the seminal vesicles. Then shape of the gland will be tubular coiled. Location is behind and below the bladder, anterior to rectum. So that is just the little points that you can be asked about. But major point is nature of secretion. So seminal vesicles जो भी secretion देते हैं, it is going to be alkaline in nature, यानी वो basic होगा, and this basicity is going to be the primary one. So 1 degree है, that is it is going to be a primary secretion that is going to help for the basic nature of the semen. It is going to be mucoid, यानी mucus like sticky होगा, and it is going to be viscous. So viscous के लिए you can remember it is honey like. So honey or water, if you try to understand its consistency, so honey is going to be much more viscous than water. So that thickness, that consistency of honey, so that is nothing but viscous fluid. So composition and the functions of those whatever the present in this seminal vesicle secretion. So first secretion, that is fructose. So fructose जो होगा, it is going to be used for providing nutrition because जब ये fructose होगा, the mitochondria in the sperms are going to use this, and the mitochondria will release energy so that the sperms can develop as well as help in motility. Another very important function of fructose, that is going to be the evidence for rape. So if a victim complains about her that someone attempted, then evidence के लिए that actually she is saying the truth, that will be confirmed because of the presence of fructose. So presence of fructose, how can you identify? Because female body is never ever going to contain fructose until and unless she is the victim of the rape. So अगर उसके बॉडी में, अगर फीमेल बॉडी में फ्रुक्टोज कंटेंट मिलता है आफ्टर सर्टेन आवर्स ऑफ द अटेम्प्ट, then that means the fructose has been originated because of the semen that had been ejaculated. So fructose मेल बॉडी के बाकी पार्ट्स या बाकी फ्लूइड्स में भी नहीं होगा. फ्रुक्टोज विल ओनली बी फाउंड because of the secretions from the seminal vesicles. So if you try to check the presence of fructose in the male saliva or male digestive glands or anywhere, you will not find fructose. Only the seminal vesicles are going to release fructose as a nutrition part for the sperms. So that can be used for the evidence of rape. Then about the prostaglandins जो होंगे, these are going to stimulate the cervical and the vaginal contractions, जिसकी वजह से reverse peristalsis होगा, and because of reverse peristalsis there is going to be much more easy motility for the sperm to enter near the female gamete. फिर inositol होगा, that is going to maintain the osmotic pressure of the fluids, and lastly that is fibrinogen, which is going to act like a clotting protein. So this clotting protein is going to clot the semen in the female tract, जिसकी वजह से जो leakage हो सकता है out from the vagina, that will be prevented, and fibrinogen is going to help so that वो जैसे ही ejaculate होगा, it should not drip down out of the vagina, so it should stay for some time. So for that fibrinogen is going to help as the clotting agent. Now about the second little part about the gland, that is prostate gland. Prostate gland जो होगा, it will be a single occurring gland, वो एक ही होगा. It will be contributing for 30% of the secretions. The shape of it is going to be tubulo-alveolar and present at the base, surrounded by the prostatic urethra. So जो urethra prostate gland के पास में से जाएगी, that is nothing but the prostatic urethra. Now the nature of the secretion is going to be the secondary alkaline nature. So primary majority alkaline secretions कहाँ से आएंगी? They will come from the seminal vesicles, but the secondary secretions of alkaline nature is going to come from the prostate gland. कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑर्डर यानी जो सीमेन का एक स्मेल होगा, दैट स्मेल इज गोइंग टू बी बिकॉज ऑफ प्रोस्टेट सिक्रेशंस एंड द मिल्की अपीयरेंस इज also because of this secretion. This secretion contains various ions like Ca2 plus, PO4 4 minus, yeah, there is an enzyme that is profibrinolysin, and profibrinolysin is going to be the enzyme जिसकी वजह से fibrinogen, the clotting agent in the secretions of seminal vesicles, वो जो fibrinogen है, it is going to act like a counterbalance. So fibrinogen अगर ज़्यादा clotting produce करेगा, then this enzyme that is profibrinolysin is going to break the fibrinogen so that ज़्यादा clotting नहीं होगा, and because of more clotting what can happen, the sperms will not be able to move into that clotted form of semen. So clotting होना चाहिए so that leakage is prevented, but it should not be too much that the sperms cannot move. So to maintain the balance about clotting and the fluidity, this profibrinolysin enzyme is going to be functional. फिर आता है हमारा थर्ड ग्लैंड, दैट इज bulbourethral or the Cowper's gland, which is going to be a paired structure. There will be two glands. About 10% secretions will be provided. It is a pea-shaped small little gland and which is surrounded by the membranous urethra, and the duct of this particular gland will open into the spongy urethra. अब ये इतना छोटा सा pea-shaped gland भी है, but it is going to be very important because whatever the secretions are going to be released by this bulbourethral gland, it is going to be acting like a pre-ejaculatory mucoid and viscous secretion. So before the semen actually is ejaculated, the secretions of bulbourethral or the Cowper's gland will be released. That is nothing but the pre-ejaculatory secretion. So ejaculation of semen के पहले ये release होगा, and this is going to be helpful for the main purpose, that is to neutralizing the acidity inside the penile urethra. So, penile urethra जो होता है, it will be neutralized because as you know that the penile urethra is going to be the common duct for urine as well as your semen. अब urine जो होता है, that urine is going to be acidic in nature because if you have understood and remembered about the excretory system in humans, the excretory system may we had understood that H plus ions will be released in the form with urine. So urine acidic hoga, and that acidity should be neutralized in the penile urethra, and for that the bulbourethral gland secretions will be important, as well as since it is releasing mucoid secretions, mucus होने की वजह से it will also help in lubrication of the tip of the penis. So with this we complete the understanding about the three accessory glands, that is seminal vesicles, prostate gland and the Cowper's gland. I hope tabular form में जो डेटा है उसको याद करने में, कंपेयर करने में आसानी होगी, and if you like such things then do try to make all those data combined, precise, short में कर लो, tabular forms बनाओ, try to use diagrams, and if you like such things and if you are not able to devote time to make it yourself, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe Biophilia, and with Biophilia you will get such things so that you can maintain your study in a short and easy way. Now let's understand about the semen. अब semen को अगर define करना हो, then in mathematical forms you can try to explain it कि semen जो होता है, it is going to be combination of sperms, that is the male gamete and the seminal fluid. और ये seminal fluid कहाँ से आएगा? It is going to come from the male accessory sex glands. So जो अभी हमने पढ़े थे glands, 3 glands, उनका जो secretions होगा that will form the seminal fluid, and because of spermatogenesis the sperms will be formed, और जब ये sperms और seminal fluid एक साथ आएंगे that will form the semen. Now average volume of semen that is ejaculated that is going to be about 2.5 to 5 ml. So you can अगर आपको ये समझ नहीं आ रहा हो कि ये कितना होता है then you can take a syringe and you can try to measure how much this actually looks. So इतने छोटे से quantity में there is going to be a normal sperm count of about 200 to 300 million sperms. So you can imagine कि इतने छोटे से quantity में these many sperms are going to be present, because sperm का size कैसे होता है, sperm का size is going to be calculated in micrometer. So micrometer is a very small quantity. So these small quantity, small size की वजह से these many quantity of sperms can be present in the ejaculation quantity of about 2.5 to 5 ml. अब sperm का जो pH होता है, not sperm exactly, semen का जो pH होता है, it is going to be 7.2 to 7.7, which is considered as an alkaline pH. और alkaline क्यों होता है? We have seen that alkalinity primarily comes from the seminal vesicles and secondarily because of the secretions of prostate gland. So अगर आपने यहाँ पे notice किया होगा, then the photograph is trying to show you the ejaculation of semen. So here you can see that the semen is going to appear milky, it is going to be viscous, it is going to be mucoid, or that is all because of the secretions from the accessory glands. Now the semen, how can you tell that the semen is able to fertilize the female gamete or not? जो fertile है या नहीं है, उसके लिए you have to undergo the process of calculating the sperm count. So अगर sperm count की वजह से if you can say that the 60% of the sperms are having normal shape and size and 40% of those normal shape and size are having vigorous motility, then you can say that the particular semen collected is going to be fertile, then it can be used for the fertilization process. But अगर उनका sperm count 20 million per ejaculation से कम है, then the semen is directly considered that it is infertile. So कितना होना चाहिए normal sperm count? It should be about 200 to 300 million. But अगर वो 20 million से कम जाता है then it is infertile. But if it is having sperm count in the range of 200 to 300 million, but उसमें से भी fertility depend करती है that 60% should have normal shape and size. That is 60 कैसे लिखते हैं? It is 60 starting with S. So starting with S is going to be S, that is normal shape and size. So 60% should have normal shape and size and 40% of those word is very important. अब इसकी वजह से कैसे चेंजेस होते हैं, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई एम ट्राइंग टू एक्सप्लेन यू कि जो माइक्रोस्कोप के अंदर हमने देखा, वी ट्राई टू सी दैट देयर वर 50 स्पर्म्स. ओके, जस्ट फॉर सिंपल कैलकुलेशंस we consider 50 sperms were having per ejaculation, right? ejaculation में 50 sperms नजर आए. now you have to understand कि वो fertile है कि नहीं. so out of the 50%, 50% का अगर 50 sperms का 60% calculate करें, that is nothing but 30 sperms. So 30 sperms are going to be the quantity जिनके पास normal shape and size होना ज़रूरी है. अगर ये 30 नहीं है then you reject them, right? अगर ये 30 नॉर्मल शेप एंड साइज में प्रेजेंट है, नाउ यू कंसिडर फॉर द सेकेंड स्टेज कि ये 30 स्पर्म्स जो हमें मिले हैं, अब इनका हम 40% लेंगे, ना कि 50 स्पर्म्स का. 50 स्पर्म्स का हमने 60% कैलकुलेट किया, बट द 30 स्पर्म्स का अभी हम 40% कैलकुलेट करेंगे, that is 12 sperms. The 12 sperms are going to be the sperms जिनके पास extreme motility होना ज़रूरी है. Okay, so first हमने नंबर कौन सा देखा? We saw about 50 sperms. तो total count of sperm था, उसका 60% लिया, we got 30 sperms जिनका normal shape and size होना ज़रूरी है, और 30 sperms का 40% लिया, that is 12 sperms. So 12 sperms should have vigorous motility, then in that case you can call that the semen is fertile. सो यहाँ पे क्या मेजर हमें याद रखना है कि 40% जो लिया है वो 40% किसका लिया है, नॉर्मल शेप एंड साइज के काउंट का, ना कि द टोटल काउंट ऑफ द स्पर्म. सो दैट इज अ लिटिल पॉइंट दैट यू नीड टू रिमेंबर. Now let's go through some facts about the sperm. So sperms के लिए first of all you need to see that sperm सबसे पहले किसने देखे थे. So first of all it was seen by Ham and Leeuwenhoek. And another point that you need to remember, that is body produces about 100 to 200 million sperms per day, whereas जो ejaculation count होता है that is normal for about 200 to 300 million sperms per day. So वो जो ejaculation होगा वो sperm production एक दिन का नहीं होगा. So from this you can understand, because production per day it is going to be 100 to 200, but ejaculation for one time is going to be 200 to 300 for normal conditions. Another point about sperm, that is sperm speed. So speed is going to be 1.5 to 3 mm per minute. So ये देख के आपको लगेगा कि स्पीड बहुत कम है. It is mm per minute. यहाँ पे तो मीटर या किलोमीटर में बात होती है, बट यहाँ पे तो mm में है, कितनी छोटी डिस्टेंस कवर करता है. बट ये स्पीड क्या करने हैं, इट इज जस्ट टू मीट द साइट ऑफ फर्टिलाइजेशन. सो साइट ऑफ फर्टिलाइजेशन तक जाने के लिए दैट डिस्टेंस दैट इट हैज़ टू कवर, दैट नीड्स टू बी कवर्ड विद दिस स्पीड दैट टेक्स ओनली 30 मिनट्स. तो साइट ऑफ फर्टिलाइजेशन तक जाने के लिए स्पर्म्स को सिर्फ 30 मिनट्स की ज़रूरत है. until that time it can reach the site of fertilization in the ampullary region of the oviducts. सो अब तो आपको ये 30 मिनट सुन के शायद ये स्पीड कम ना लगे. नाउ देर कैन बी सम स्पर्म डिफेक्ट्स. हर स्पर्म जो प्रोड्यूस हो वो परफेक्ट हो ज़रूरी नहीं है. देर कैन बी सम डिफेक्ट्स. सो दीज डिफेक्ट्स ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ हाउ द सिवियरिटी ऑफ द डिफेक्ट इज, उसके बेसिस पे प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी पे डिस्कस करते हैं. सो इफ इट इज़ प्राइमरी डिफेक्ट देन इट इज़ गोइंग टू बी प्रेजेंट इन द हेड रीजन. इट इज़ हेड रीजन, इट इज़ अ सीवियर डिफेक्ट. और वो डिफेक्ट जो है इट इज़ गोइंग टू ओरिजिनेट इन द सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल्स. तो जहाँ पे ये स्पर्म्स बन रहे हैं वहीं पे अगर प्रॉब्लम है, दैट इज a severe defect or called as a primary defect. अगर वो secondary defect है, that is seen in the neck, middle piece or tail region, which is a less serious defect, क्योंकि ये जो secondary defects है it is going to be because of the rough passage, कि वो जब एपिडाइडम से पास हो रहे थे तब कुछ it was not proper movement नहीं हो रही थी. या if in the case of artificial insemination के लिए जब sample collect किया गया, during that if the sample was mishandled, so during mishandling also this secondary defects can arise. So these were some sperm defects. So here you can see कि प्राइमरी डिफेक्ट्स और सेकेंडरी डिफेक्ट्स कैसे हो सकते हैं. सो दिस ओवर हियर इज गोइंग टू बी योर नॉर्मल कंडीशन फॉर द स्पर्म. दिस इज नॉर्मल. अब नॉर्मल कंडीशंस कैसे हो सकते हैं. सो प्राइमरी जो डिफेक्ट्स होते हैं दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द डिफेक्ट्स इन हेड रीजन. सो फर्स्ट डिफेक्ट जो यहाँ पे है दैट इज कंडेंस्ड एक्रोसोम. सो एक्रोसोम रीजन दैट इज शोन इन द ब्लू कलर, वो अगर छोटा है, कंडेंस्ड है, कम है, दैट इज गोल्गी बॉडीज, सो सिक्रीशंस ऑफ एंजाइम्स कम होंगे. सो दैट इज अ प्राइमरी डिफेक्ट. अगर हेड रीजन छोटा हो गया दैट इज अ प्राइमरी डिफेक्ट. हेड रीजन इज मच मोर बिगर देन द नॉर्मल कंडीशन, दैट इज अ प्रॉब्लम. एक की जगह पे दो हेड आ गए दैट इज अ डिफेक्ट. if there is instead of one tail two tails, that is a defect. Then there can be absence of middle piece nahi hai, that is a defect. So all these defects, like the neck and the middle piece is thin, thick, bent, या टेल्स कॉइल है, अपने आप के ऊपर ही कॉइल हो गई है, बहुत छोटी है या टूटी हुई है, या एक की जगह पे दो आ गई, ऑल दोज डिफेक्ट्स आर नॉट गोइंग टू बी एडवाइजेबल. ये सारे डिफेक्ट्स नहीं होने चाहिए बिकॉज दीज डिफेक्ट्स आर गोइंग टू बी नॉट सूटेबल फॉर फर्टिलाइजेशन. सो फर्टिलाइजेशन तक पहुँच ही नहीं पाएंगे इफ दीज डिफेक्टिव फॉर्म्स आर मोर इन क्वांटिटी. सो फॉर दैट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि स्पर्म डिफेक्ट्स अगर है तो उन्हें पहले ही रिजेक्ट कर दिया जाता है. एंड आफ्टर दोज रिजेक्शंस दैट वी सॉ अबाउट 60% एंड 40% जो प्रीवियस स्लाइड में देखा था, सो दैट देन ओनली you can consider that particular semen to be fertile. Now little sub points that you need to remember कि यहाँ पे 4 terms है, these terms need to be understood. So first is azoospermia. Azoospermia, is regarding nothing but absence. So whenever there is going to be absence of sperms in the semen, that is going to be the condition of azoospermia. Oligo is the word that is used for less. So whenever the sperm count is going to be less than 20 million, then it will be the condition of oligospermia. So 20 million से कम है यानी it is also going to be a condition of infertile semen. सो सीमेन हमने अभी देखा अगर 20 मिलियन से कम हो जाता है then it is going to be a infertile semen. Then about asthenozoospermia, that is defective motility of the sperms. Teratozospermia, that is defective morphology of the sperms. So यहाँ पे asthenozoospermia और teratozospermia में बहुत ज़्यादा confusion होता है that which particular is going to be for motility and which term is for defective morphology. So for that let me help you with a little trick that is going to be तेरी तो शक्ल अच्छी ही नहीं है ऐसे कैसे चलेगा. So this is a little trick that can help you to remember about the asthenozoospermia and teratozospermia. So यहाँ पे क्या याद रखना है, तेरी, तेरी is going to signify for teratozospermia. So you can write down the key so that you do not get confused कि कौन सा term किस चीज़ के लिए था. So teri is for teratozospermia and shakal is going to be for your morphology. So morphology यानी how does it look. So तेरी तो शक्ल अच्छी नहीं है, अच्छी नहीं है that means it is defective. अच्छी नहीं है, it is defective. So if the morphology is defective then you call it teratozospermia. और if it is ऐसे कैसे चलेगा. So ऐसे कैसे चलेगा is going to be for चलेगा that is motility, okay, and ऐसे कैसे that is going to be for ऐसे that is asthenozoospermia, right. So चलेगा is motility, so it is not going to work, that is defective motility. तेरी तो शक्ल ही अच्छी नहीं है ऐसे कैसे चलेगा. So I forgot to write about essay, that essay is going to be for asthenozoospermia. So I hope with this little trick you can remember about the defective motility and defective morphology terms. So that was all for today's video. With this we complete the entire topics about the male reproductive system. If you like these videos then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Biophilia, and for more continuation of these chapters as well as other chapters of class 11th and 12th, don't forget to stay continuing with Biophilia. We'll come back soon with the next part of this chapter. Till then, keep studying, keep smiling. Thank you. Bye bye.